but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Are you tired of living in pain? It's time to take control. At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, we're your one-stop shop for expert care in Lincoln. From broken bones to complex reconstruction, our skilled team will help you get back on track. Visit prairieortho.com today and discover why we're the trusted choice for thousands of patients. Don't let pain hold you back. Take the first step towards a better, pain-free life with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins. Call 402-489-4700.
It takes a great game plan to win a football game each week, and right now, it's time to plan a trip to get a new car at Mullen Motors. Just like on the football field, there's a wall of defense on the way to Mullen Motors. 48th Street is under construction from Layton all the way to Cornhusker Highway. But the lot at Mullen Motors is full of tons of great vehicles to drive home this fall for the ultimate touchdown. Mullen Motors, still open through road construction at 48th and Walker.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
This is Jay Foreman here. Join me and DP for Old School live from Cornhusker Bank at 83rd and O Street this Friday for their customer appreciation tailgate party from 4 to 6 p.m. Larry the Cable Guy will join us during the show, and there's free food and refreshments. That's this Friday from 4 to 6 at Cornhusker Bank, 83rd and O Street.
Guys, you've heard me tell you all about Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, but it's not just me. Folks all over town are having success with the FXB program. Guys like Gary, who just finished up his own 10-week challenge.
Yeah, Mark, after having a knee replacement in March, I was looking for a way to get back into shape. The workouts are fun, the atmosphere is a total blast, and I've lost 17 pounds since starting in July.
The next Farrell's 10-week challenge begins on October 7th, and ticket listeners get $150 off enrollment. Just head to theticketfm.com. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping at 40th and Yankee Hill and 70th and Vine.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
We have a doubleheader coming your way this Thursday and Friday right here on 93.7 The Ticket. Hey guys, it's Nick Sainert. Join me and Jay Foreman not once but twice this week for high school football here in the state of Nebraska. On Thursday night, it's number 2 Millard South versus number 10 Lincoln East from Seacrest Field as kickoff is slated for 7 p.m. And then on Friday, join us for one of the best rivalries in all of the city. The Silverhawks of Lincoln Southwest play Lincoln Southeast on Friday night at 8 p.m. Join me and Jay Foreman once again on Thursday at 7 p.m. and on Friday at 8 p.m. for high school football right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome into the happy hour here on a Waffle Wednesday, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com.
I am here. I just got a important text relating to a matter that you and I and Austin were discussing last night. So that is why I was a little hesitant to start the show. But nonetheless, welcome in. It's the happy hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert and Rico joining you guys. Hello, Rico.
Hello.
How's the day?
So far, so good.
It's about to get better.
Them waffles was A1.
Yeah, it can't get any better than that.
No.
The waffles were unbelievable.
Except for last Wednesday when we had waffles and then chicken. but
you make a
still
good
great.
point. You make a good point. Now, excuse me, it's about to get better for all of our listeners. And most importantly, for Lincoln Stars fans, as we have a very special giveaway here on the show right now. We're going to be giving away a Lincoln Stars bobblehead. It's super cool. I kind of wish I could keep it, but we're going to be giving it away.
Numero cinco.
We're going to be giving it away. David Bakich, the bobblehead for Lincoln Stars. If you guys just answer this trivia question, and it's you better get ready to have your keyboard fingers ready to roll, because the trivia question is this. The Stars have won 2 total USHL titles. One of those was in 2002, the 2002 and 2003 season. When was the other USHL title for the Lincoln Stars? 402-464-5685. Once again, the Stars have had 2 total USHL titles.
We have 3 people who've texted in 3 separate years. They're all in a row, though.
And here's the deal: is I need, as it was the 2002-2003 season.
We need the both of them.
I need the 2 years, the dates there as well. So 2002-2003 season. What was the other season that they went? I need both of the years. So
has anybody gotten close? Is anybody right yet?
Oak Valley Husker.
There it is.
Oak Valley Husker gets it correct.
Goodness gracious.
There were a lot. Oak Valley Husker gets it correct. The 1996 and 1997 season. That was the year, the other one, I should say, where the Stars got a USHL title.
Oak Valley Husker, you are the winner.
Congrats. Not the winner of nothing like we usually give on the happy hour.
Something.
You win the Lincoln Stars bobblehead. Come on down to our new studio, 1040 O Street, basically 11th and O. And while you're down here, in order to get the bobblehead, you got to buy a cup of coffee.
That's not true.
You know, it's not true, but you should buy a cup of coffee. I'm drinking this ice, just a normal iced coffee. It looks foo-foo. It looks all special. It's just a normal iced coffee with creamer.
Doesn't look foo-foo. Just looks like iced coffee.
It looks like a little bit.
Now, if you had some like foam and some caramel,
none of that,
chocolate on the side, then it would look foo-foo. But it's just
no foam, just coffee and cream, right? So there you go. Once again, shout out to Oak Valley Husker. Nice job. A lot of people. Thanks for thanks for a lot of it. A lot of people texted in trying to guess the right one. A lot of people got 1996. A lot of people got 1997. But, then you're in that gray area of, are you talking about the 90? Basically, it's the 96 season. I understand.
Are you talking about 95, 96, 97, 98?
Yeah, that's what makes it difficult with like the NBA finals sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes I hate when those things happen.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, it was this season. I'm like, wait, hold on, what? Or they're like, oh, yeah, they won the title back in 2005.
Yeah.
I was like, so did they win it in 2005 or did the season start
in
2005?
Yes. Well, that makes sense as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's just all over the place.
So once again, thanks to all the people for participating. There's going to be a lot of giveaways. There's going to be a lot of vouchers that we're going to be offering. We're excited to continue working with the Lincoln Stars going forward. They'll obviously have Outside the Box with head coach Rocky Russo.
Yep.
Once again, once a week here on the station. The Stars had a really, really good year last year and looking to bounce back. They just had a guy, and I apologize, I'm blanking on the name, just announced his commitment to Notre Dame hockey a couple of days ago. And so a lot of great talent on the Stars team going forward, and they're going to have a good year. We're excited to be a part of it going forward. So
they will start their season next Saturday at home in the Icebox against Madison.
Oh,
so
there you go. Nice.
Head on out there the 7th of October, first game of the season against Madison in the Icebox. Go check out the Lincoln Stars as they start their season. And next week is when Outside the Box begins their weekly show with head coach Rocky Russo.
Now, how about this? We got a text from an unnamed texter. Once again, 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line. Unnamed texter says, I was a beer man in the inaugural season, walking up and down the stairs with a mini keg on my back. I'll tell you this.
Hold on.
The Stars, out of a lot of teams, both collegiate and professional, maybe in Lincoln and in the surrounding areas, I think it's okay to say that, the Stars do promotional nights.
Oh, they do it right.
Better than anybody else.
They
The
do
Salt
it right.
Dogs are up there as well.
Yep.
And you know what I mean by this? Because Bryce fills us in and says $2 beer night on October 13th. And here's the deal, is if you want to figure out a way to attract a college-aged audience,
Boom.
there you go.
$2 beers.
And you get the Icebox, which is already a great venue. It's a lot of fun, whether you're watching the little people wrestling that I went to a couple months ago, or
technically
you're
I think
watching,
you can use the word.
Yeah, see, and they call it. I wanted to be careful.
You know what? Just keep being careful.
Yes,
I'm not sure.
It's a very, very dangerous spot. But nonetheless, yeah, here's the thing. The $2 beer night, they do a great job promotional. Also, while doing it responsibly, they create a really, really positive environment. It's a lot of fun.
It gets so loud in the ice.
It does.
So loud.
Whether it's $2 beer night or not.
And KJ loves hockey, which might be a problem. Yeah, he was like glued to it.
Well, you told me about how KJ bit a hole through his tongue.
Yeah.
I hope it's okay to say that on the radio.
Rachel might be mad.
Oh, that's fine. KJ bit his tongue.
He did. And then he tripped in daycare again today. He's a clumsy kid.
Rachel, if you're listening, Rachel, Rico told me that you are the one that gave him the clumsy gene.
Said that. I never said that.
You said this. I don't know about my wife.
No, I said,
but I was never clumsy.
I said I don't know about his mom, but I wasn't clumsy. Maybe it's just him. I don't know. It could not have been her. Maybe he's just clumsy on his own.
Rico, I never seen you moonwalk, man.
Don't do this.
Look at that back pedal.
Don't do this.
Look at that back pedal.
First off, I got a good back pedal. I was a corner in high school. Watch out.
Oh, okay. I apologize. Bryce bartends at Stars games, so we're gonna have to go see him.
Okay, Bryce.
So we'll go see you, Bryce, at some point. Because I'm sure there'll be a day where we come on out there. So what's Rachel saying?
It's inappropriate.
Rachel. Okay, anyway, once again, 402-464-5685, Honda Lincoln Hotline and the Starter Heyman text line, both open for you guys, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo Channel 951. Once again, thanks and congratulations to Oak Valley Husker for the winner of the Lincoln Stars bobblehead. And just be listening in the near future. And by near future, we're talking in the next weeks for voucher giveaways, for tickets, for all the good stuff regarding your Lincoln Stars and head coach Rocky Russo with Outside the Box starting next week. Okay, just to kind of give you a preview of what we're going to be talking about the rest of the week. Obviously, a lot of Nebraska, Michigan, as that one's going to kick off 2:30 p.m. A lot of Husker volleyball to get to later in the week as well, as they'll have 2 matches on Friday and Sunday, I believe, once again against Purdue and then Indiana. So they're going to be making the rounds in the state of Indiana.
Their new assistant coach is finally back.
Jordan Larson is officially with the team.
The governor is back in town, and she is helping coach this wonderful Nebraska volleyball team. So things are only looking up right now for Nebraska volleyball. We'll be able to talk to her today at a little media session.
Yeah. So Jordan Larson, obviously an Olympian, one of the best Husker volleyball players to ever do it, is now on the staff officially. And that was something that people kind of forgot about, was that she was truly a member. Like, this is not a celebrity coach. This is not something where it's just like, hey, she's in town, she dropped by practice, she's pointing out a few things, she's giving some pointers and some tips.
Staff.
No. She's there.
She will be traveling with them to Purdue.
Because if I remember correctly, there was a time where she was like a volunteer coach for Texas.
So she was an assistant coach, and then she dropped down to a volunteer coach, and then she left the program, and she was in Nebraska, and she was helping out at a volleyball academy.
Mm-hmm.
And then she decided she wanted to go play pro again. So she was out in Italy, I believe. And then it was kind of thought that she was going to had retired from like international, like Team USA volleyball.
Yeah.
But then it got closer to the Olympics, and she was like, you know what? I'm going back.
There you go. Just if Nebraska needed more firepower, whether it's on their roster or on their coaching staff, here you go.
And USA volleyball has a decent amount of Nebraska flair. 3 players.
Mm-hmm.
And Jordan Larson, Kelsey Robinson, and Justine Wong-Arantes all on the team.
Justine Wong-Arantes has been on the happy hour before.
We might have her on again.
We might have to. Okay, so let's first talk about this, because we will have Steve Marik of Inside Nebraska joining us here in a little over 10 minutes or so to talk Huskers and Wolverines. Tomorrow We'll be joined by Alejandro Zuniga of Michigan's 24/7 Sports site to talk all things Wolverines up in Ann Arbor, for that matter. But once again, let's talk Nebraska here, because Nebraska trying to go a little bit deeper than just who's the quarterback, who's the running back, what does Nebraska's defense what are they going to be able to do against Michigan's offense? Let's talk about the running backs, because we talked heavily about defense. Do you want to get that?
No. She
Okay.
I'm just going to flip my phone over.
Flip the phone over. All right, there you go. And so
I'll text you back, babe.
yeah, during commercial. And so anyway, you're like Chris Raff.
No,
that's how I feel right now.
I'm paying attention to you. I haven't said a single word. I just looked down and I look back up at you.
I feel like
you're the one that got
you're
distracted.
Raff. I feel like I'm doing a show with Raff.
Don't get distracted by my eyes.
But here we are. Nebraska officially moved Josh Fleeks from wide receiver to running back yesterday. We heard it from Marcus Satterfield, that Josh Fleeks, who had experience at Baylor for multiple years under this staff and through under Dave Aranda and his staff at wide receiver, one of the more experienced guys in terms of how much college football they've played on Nebraska's roster, moves to running back. And I said something earlier this morning where I want to get your thoughts on it, Rico, where I said, if Josh Fleeks ends up being the number 2 running back, almost like a Ramir Johnson was last year, where he kind of, turned on the Jets and ended up becoming Nebraska's lead running back. Okay. That's not a good thing for Nebraska.
No,
because that means either one of two things. Anthony Grant got banged up, and we don't want any more injuries to this roster, but especially the running back room.
That running back room.
Or number 2, Anthony Grant had fumble issues and has to be put on a pitch count again, if trusted at all. Or number 3, Anthony Grant just struggled and was not able to be a sustainable number 1 running back.
Yeah, if Josh Fleeks ends up taking a lion's share of the snaps, any one of those options are very bad, and Nebraska is not in a good way with their running back room if any of that happens, if Anthony Grant can't go, because right now he's your most experienced running back. He's your best running back by far, really, in that running back room with the losses of Gabe Ervin and Ramir Johnson. And it's going to be mighty hard for Nebraska to really do anything in that running back room or with that running game without him, unless you're planning on running the quarterback, 25 times a game, which is not ideal.
Yeah.
Especially with dealing with your starter who started the season, already dealing with an ankle injury. If you have to run your quarterback even more, maybe, hopefully, that doesn't happen, but you'll have to deal with something else like that. But Josh Fleeks moving from receiver to running back, I mean, I understand it. He knows rules offense. He's been, running a rule offense for a while. And he ran a rule offense before. And like you mentioned, he's one of the more experienced guys on the roster. But we haven't really seen him on the field at wide receiver. And now he's just going to be taking those backup running back snaps whenever Anthony Grant needs a spell. But if you remember when fall camp started, he had to leave because he was overweight. Was he overweight for a receiver? Or was he just overweight in general? Problem is, I think you want your running backs to be a little heavier.
Yeah, and I think, we'll learn more, and we'll definitely get Steve's opinion on this going forward here in the next 10 minutes or so. But Rico, we do have breaking news.
Do we?
We do have breaking news. And so go ahead and play the sounder, because for the second time in the show, unplanned breaking news, the NBA comes up as a topic of discussion here on the happy hour.
Find somebody else.
That's fine. That's fine. Just this is the live radio at its best right here on 1040 O Street.
Here we go.
So the Portland Trailblazers have made a trade. Damian Lillard has been traded to the Milwaukee Bucks to team up with Giannis Antetokounmpo. Chris Middleton is still with the Milwaukee Bucks.
I need information on who was traded.
Now, here is what this is. Lillard goes to Milwaukee as part of a 3-team deal with Drew Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, Kamara, and a 2029 unprotected Milwaukee first-round pick all go to the Blazers. So DeAndre Ayton in this trade has been dealt to the Portland Trailblazers.
I had to see who they gave up if they were getting
Phoenix.
DeAndre Ayton. It's not good for them.
Phoenix has landed Nurkic, Grayson Allen, Nasir Little, and Keon Johnson.
That is, Phoenix wins this.
Phoenix does win this.
Phoenix wins this.
Yes.
Because you've got Kevin Durant, you've got Bradley Beal,
still a veteran Chris Paul.
You've got you don't.
Not anymore.
Chris Paul's with Golden State.
Thank you.
Doesn't matter.
Still doesn't matter.
You have Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal,
Yeah.
and now you have one of the more underrated big men in the league, and Yusuf Nurkic.
Yeah.
That Phoenix squad, and you get a shooter like Grayson Allen. Nasir Little is a really good defender. Keon Johnson, I don't know much about Keon Johnson, but Nurkic, Allen, Little on that Phoenix Suns team to team up with Kevin Durant, Beal, and Booker. That Phoenix team looks mighty nice right now. Now, Damian Lillard going to team up with with Giannis and Middleton. That's scary. Granted, still a little bit of it's a step down defensively.
It is.
From Drew Holiday to Damian Lillard. Offensively, massive step up.
Yeah.
But he's just as good. It is a little bit worse as a passer, in my mind, than Drew Holiday is. But in terms of scoring wise and taking a load off of Giannis Antetokounmpo and being able to help out when Chris Middleton isn't on his game or if he's hurt, Milwaukee, that's nice.
So once again, Damian Lillard goes to the Milwaukee Bucks as part of a 3-team deal with Drew Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, Tumani Kamara, a 2029 unprotected Milwaukee first-round pick.
That'll be late in the first.
And an unprotected Milwaukee swap rights in 2028 and 2030 to Phoenix. Or not to Phoenix, excuse me, to Portland. So Portland out of this.
That'll be pretty nice if Portland's bad.
So once again, out of this, Portland will get Drew Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, Kamara, and a 2029 first-round pick unprotected. Unprotected, for that matter, just means whether they're in the lottery, wherever they're at, they get it. Because sometimes they can do lottery protected, where it's
top
hey,
10
if you're in the top 10, lottery's top 14, I believe, to where it's hey, if you're in the top 14 picks, that team still reserves the rights. That trade basically is nullified. Top 10 protected. This is unprotected, which obviously provides more value to it for the Portland Trailblazers.
So was it last week or a couple weeks ago, there was mention of a Eastern Conference team, Dark Horse, that was sneaking into the discussions. A lot of people thought it was New York. I didn't know if it was going to be New York. Kind of hoped, but at the same time, now they didn't have the same assets unless you get a third team in there. And apparently you're not giving up a lot if you're Milwaukee. But Milwaukee, out of nowhere, from the top rope, sweeping up Damian Lillard.
And that's the thing. Does that now put Milwaukee into the lead for Eastern Conference favorite?
Yes.
Because over Miami, because Jimmy Butler can only do so much. Like this is the team, the trio, I guess, of Jimmy, Tyler Hero, and Bam can only do so much. Because
now when you look at it,
yeah,
Chris Middleton's going to be on Jimmy Butler. He doesn't have to worry about the offensive side of the ball. This is strictly defense. It's you shut him down.
Yeah.
Don't worry. We'll throw you a couple lobs. We'll get you a couple corner threes. Don't worry about scoring a single point. Your job is to lock up Jimmy Butler. We have a former NBAer behind us. I kind of want to bring him in, but we have Steve up next, and we can't really take too much time. But Chris Middleton's job is going to be lock up Jimmy Butler. You lock up Jimmy Butler, that Miami Heat team is in a whole lot of hurt.
Well, and with Strick, we'll definitely talk to him about it in the crossover. Obviously,
and Austin.
This came where Austin's not here today, Austin is not here. So it'll be myself and Strick for On the Block on from 2 to 4 today. But so we'll get into plenty of NBA basketball stuff throughout the course of the day. But I mean, once again, just a Woj bomb, if you will, in the middle of September. Here we go. Wow. To where just a reminder, Damian Lillard has been dealt to the Milwaukee Bucks. DeAndre Ayton goes to the Portland Trailblazers because the Phoenix Suns are the third team in this deal as well.
Yeah, DeAndre Ayton gets to go from sunny Phoenix to
Portland. Yeah, where Damian could not win.
Nope. So now it's going to be – I didn't even – man, that Portland team is in a bad way.
Tough. Tough. But nonetheless, once again, Woj bomb in the middle of September. So didn't want to get away too far away from Nebraska football, but that was definitely big news because it's felt like for like a year and a half, we've just kind of been waiting for Damian Lillard to eventually get dealt or decide not to go back to Portland.
Mm-hmm.
And finally here on the 27th of September, 2023. It's finalized.
I'm not sure if he has a no trade clause or whatever, but if this is happening, he must have accepted it. But that remember for the longest time, it was either Miami or nowhere.
Yeah,
I think he's okay with this one.
I would.
I know you have to go to Milwaukee, and it's not Miami.
Hey,
but
you can fly. You can fly to Miami.
Honestly, your best chance for a ring is probably where you're at right now.
Yeah. It's teaming up once again with Giannis and Chris Middleton.
This is going to be ridiculous.
There you go. So
because you're going to stretch the defense with Dame, who can shoot from wherever the heck he pleases, and then Giannis, who's going to pack the paint because look, he gets the ball. It takes him 2 steps to get from half court to the rim. So
yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's going to be a fun team.
What a show so far. We gave away a Lincoln Stars bobblehead. We talked Husker football a very little bit. We talked Husker volleyball as Jordan Larson's back on the staff. And then nice little breaking news here in late September where Damian Lillard gets traded to the Milwaukee Bucks. Let's take a break.
Everything.
When we come back, we will be joined by our good friend Steve Marik of Inside Nebraska to talk Huskers football. And the Cubs are an embarrassment. Rico can't talk because the Yankees got eliminated, but the Cubs are a complete and utter embarrassment. And I will vent with my fellow Cubs fan, Steve, just after this. You're listening to the Happy Hour 93.7 The Ticket.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It takes a great game plan to win a football game each week, and right now, it's time to plan a trip to get a new car at Mullen Motors. Just like on the football field, there's a wall of defense on the way to Mullen Motors. 48th Street is under construction from Layton all the way to Cornhusker Highway. But the lot at Mullen Motors is full of tons of great vehicles to drive home this fall for the ultimate touchdown. Mullen Motors, still open through road construction at 48th and Walker.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices. Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
This is Jay Foreman here. Join me and DP for Old School live from Cornhusker Bank at 83rd and O Street this Friday for their customer appreciation tailgate party from 4 to 6 p.m. Larry the Cable Guy will join us during the show, and there's free food and refreshments. That's this Friday from 4 to 6 at Cornhusker Bank, 83rd and O Street.
This is James Harrell with NP Dodge Real Estate. When I became a licensed realtor, I wanted a brokerage that would help me grow in my new career. I found that in Lincoln First Realty. When Lincoln First was acquired by NP Dodge, the training and support I received only got better. I love knowing I have the power of the NP Dodge brand behind me. I would recommend NP Dodge to new agents looking to jumpstart their real estate career and to current agents who want to take their business to the next level.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Are you tired of living in pain? It's time to take control. At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, we're your one-stop shop for expert care in Lincoln. From broken bones to complex reconstruction, our skilled team will help you get back on track. Visit prairieortho.com today and discover why we're the trusted choice for thousands of patients. Don't let pain hold you back. Take the first step towards a better, pain-free life with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins. Call 402-489-4700.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through October 3rd are buy a New York strip and get a free finished flat iron steak. And don't forget to check out their Friday feast this week and every week. Plus, don't forget their 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solution. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Hey, it's Jake Sorensen. Join us this Friday from 6 to 10 a.m. at Double Eagle Golf in the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street for a Ryder Cup watch party and preview of Nebraska, Michigan. Book your bay to hit shots while enjoying the show and enjoy USA-themed drink specials. Book today at doubleeagle.golf. We'll see you on Friday.
Fall has arrived, and it's the perfect weather for the DIY market to listen to the game while building a deck. Deck City is a great place to start as Lincoln's local source for everything decks. Deck City has everything you need to build the deck of your dreams, from treated lumber to Westbury aluminum railings and Decorators composite decking. They offer advice from real deck professionals to give you proper guidance and to make your project go smoothly. Call them today to schedule an appointment at 402-480-6671 or go online to deckcityne.com.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert.
Even before you start. That was a preemptive shh.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
I already had someone created in my image. He's evil, he wants to take over the world, and he fits easily into most overhead storage bins.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert and Rico joining you guys as usual. 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline and the Starter Heyman text line, both open for you guys the entire show today. Before we really dive deep into Nebraska football, we got to bring in our good friend, not my good friend.
It's fine. You can just say my good friend.
It's fine.
No, I understand that you guys have something that I'll never have between. It's fine.
Here's the deal, Rico, is Steve and I met covering Nebraska women's basketball.
Good for you.
Steve, what's up, man? Do you remember those days?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I remember watching Jazz LA drain buckets from deep. That was awesome.
There you go. I love how you say, do you remember those days? Like it was like 12 years ago. It was like, what, 3 years ago?
I think was it 2 or 3? I don't even remember at this point. They're
yeah,
all
it was 2.
Two.
It was 2.
There you go,
yeah, back in the glory days between us, Steve. Do you remember back when bubblegum was?
I was a young strapping lad.
Yeah, back when bubblegum was a quarter.
That was back before Steve became a father.
I was just going to say that was pre-Shay. So, yeah.
Steve got mad at me because I didn't reply to a picture of his daughter that he sent me. He got all mad.
Rico, let me lay this out.
Okay, go ahead.
So I send Nick a beautiful picture of my beautiful daughter, 7 months old, by the way, and nothing in response. Not even a like, not even a thumbs up, not even a heart.
I didn't want to be disrespectful.
Nothing. So how much of a monster is Nick Sainert right now?
Wow, he's the worst. You don't want to know? No, hold on. No, Nick, shut up. Do you want to know how bad Nick is? My daughter.
How bad?
My daughter, 4 years old, for whatever reason, thinks Nick is her best friend. She calls him her little Nicky, right? And yeah, so anybody that wants to, talk, just call Nick little Nicky, whatever. That's what
got
she
a ring
calls
to
him.
it, and
Yeah.
a pretty underrated Adam Sandler movie.
Exactly. That's such a great movie. But she calls him that, and he told me it was last week he was going to be at the softball scrimmage. So I tell Ellie, she's so excited to see little Nikki. We get there, she goes, "Where's Nikki? Where's Nikki?" And I go, "I'm sorry, baby girl, he's not coming." Oh, okay. She drew a picture for you, Nick.
Why have I not gotten the picture?
Because you were supposed to get it at softball. You don't get it now.
Anyway, the first thing when I walked down to the Memorial Stadium field on Saturday, not to play, but to cover it.
Yeah, you're not playing.
Steve saw me and he gave me the big old finger point, and he was mad at me right at the start. And I said, "Dang, okay, Steve." And thankfully, a sheriff was there. He was saving my life, though.
I toned down what I was going to say just because the cost of value. So yeah.
Good choice, Steve. Good
Anyway,
choice.
Steve, here's where we can relate. The Cubs are an embarrassment to everybody around the world.
It's super embarrassing. I couldn't believe my eyes. I'm glad we're talking about this right now because I need to say it. I couldn't believe my eyes when Seiya Suzuki dropped what, I don't know, 8th graders catch in out there in right field. I mean, it was absolutely brutal error out there in right field by Seiya Suzuki, who I've been a fan of. Nick, we've talked before. You're a defender of Seiya, and it's not an easy job right now because you're absolutely right. He might have blown the entire season in that one play right there. And then he strikes out in the top of the 9th. What are we doing?
Yeah. Well, and Seiya, his hitting was really bad at the start of the year. And then I think a little after the trade deadline, it really started to heat up. And it was like, all right, this is the Seiya Suzuki that I think Cubs fans were expecting his entire career. And then he makes, one of the most, important errors in Major League Baseball season right now. The Cubs, though, still holding on to the 3rd wild card spot. There's still hope. The only problem is that they lost any chance at the NL Central, which was a bleak, a bleak possibility as well. But then also, that big crucial game in the wild card standings.
Yeah, and Seiya was also earlier in that game. I think he hit a two-run triple to give the Cubs a 4-0 lead, and obviously they wind up blowing the 6-run lead. But I don't know. I'm going to be watching till the end, guys. Yeah. I'm right there with them, but I'm not expecting anything right now.
Here's the deal, Steve. The biggest issue is that they thought that they could go out and get Jose Cuas, and Jose Cuas was going to be their redeeming savior that was going to take them to the promised land.
I don't think that they should have thought that from anybody coming from the Royals organization.
Well, I don't know if you know this. I was at the Royals game the day before they traded for Cuas, and he pitched against the Twins the day before he got dealt to the Cubs in a trade that, by the way, sent Nelson Velasquez, who maybe hit one of the coolest home runs in the Cubs season this year at Wrigley earlier in the year, dealt him to Kansas City. Well, he pitched the night before when I was at Kauffman against the Twins. And I remember him coming in against the Twins when the Royals had like a 4 or 5 run lead, and his statistics were bad. And I thought, man, this is not looking good. And he ended up walking the bases loaded and giving up 3 runs in the 1 inning of relief that he had. And I thought, oh, wow, it's a good thing the Cubs don't have him. But then sure enough, the day later they traded for him. And I thought, oh, no, this is not good.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what to think of that deal when it brought down. I wasn't too familiar with him. But, I mean, yeah, all you can say about that is just Cubs, right?
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's talk about, maybe a more passionate fan base, I would assume so. The Nebraska Cornhuskers football team, as they are 2-2 going up against the Michigan Wolverines this Saturday. Once again, we're talking to Steve Marik of Inside Nebraska here on the show. Steve, I guess going forward here, we can start with the quarterbacks, because we heard yesterday from Marcus Satterfield that Heinrich Harburg's back at it, but then Jeff Sims isn't 100%. I guess going forward, is there a scenario in where Jeff Sims plays despite being 100%?
Yeah, I mean, who knows what the coaches, what they want to say in behind microphones when they know people in Michigan are listening.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to create some confusion, maybe say that Jeff Sims isn't 100%, especially not when he's running. And then once the game comes around, maybe Sims is going to have a package. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised about that at all. I mean, it's those kind of things happen all the time with college football. So I'm not willing to say right now that we're not going to see Jeff Sims at all, because I think if he can help out the offense, like the coaches like to say, they're absolutely going to use him in some capacity. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Jeff Sims on Saturday at all.
Now, going to the running back room, because obviously Nebraska at some point, they're going to need to find a traditional running game with the running backs. And quarterback scrambles are great, and Heinrich Harburg was able to do that against Northern Illinois and then Louisiana Tech. But at some point here, Nebraska's going to have to figure out a way to maybe not be one-dimensional on offense, it feels like. And if Michigan's able to stop the quarterback run or at least limit it, it feels like Nebraska could really be in some trouble.
Yes, absolutely. And to get that traditional handoff run game going with the running backs, the offensive line needs to be strong up front and not have breakdowns. And to this point, they've been uneven. They've had some good moments, and they've had some bad moments where they've looked like the Nebraska offensive line of old. And honestly, it's a lot of the same guys except for Ben Scott, who wasn't here last year. So, you'd love to have the Huskers hand the ball off to Anthony Grant and just churn away with a consistent run game and not have to use Heinrich Harburg so much, because he's been a workhorse. And credit to Heinrich for kind of, being physical and manning up and taking that load on his shoulders. But sooner or later, I think, it's kind of like the Adrian Martinez, it's the Casey Thompson thing where, at some point, do we think Heinrich Harburg is going to last an entire season? He's been used so much, and he's a big guy, and I know he can take hits, but those shoulders are taking a beating, guys. And, I'm just wondering how much they're going to continue to use Heinrich Harburg in the run game, but it's like you can't not use him because the offensive line isn't good enough to get a consistent push for that traditional handoff run game. So you need to use Heinrich Harburg and Jeff Sims in that quarterback run game because you want that extra hat, that extra blocker that affords. So it's just not a good situation. And I think Marcus Satterfield is doing what he can. He's adjusting on the fly to what he has on the field, and what he has on the field isn't that great. So I think he's doing what he can, and he's adjusting, and he's leaning on his strength, and his strength is putting as many big bodies as you can on the field and trying to grind out some running yards. So we'll see how it goes against obviously a really stout Michigan defense. And it's just going to be really, really interesting. And I'm going to be curious to see who's getting the handoffs. Obviously it'll be Anthony Grant. But how much Emmett Johnson are we going to see? I mean, he only had 2 handoffs last week against Louisiana Tech in a game that I think a lot of people would have probably expected to see him get more action. But then on Monday or on Tuesday, we hear that Josh Fleeks is now a running back. He's in the running back room, and he has a little bit of experience taking handoffs in the backfield from his time at Baylor. So it's just all hands on deck right now with the run game. And I don't blame Satterfield for using Heinrich as much as he does in the run game, because that's what Heinrich is really good at, and he's a big, tough guy. But at some point, I'm wondering when reality is going to come crashing down to earth, and Heinrich might not be getting up as quickly as he does, because he's been taking a lot of shots, and Michigan is going to be trying to take him out of the game for sure.
We're hanging out with Steve Marik of Inside Nebraska, and I want to go a couple ways here, but let's first start with it feels like a little bit of 2022 here, because as you mentioned, a lot of the same guys in that offensive line room, and now the number one guy in the room in terms of running back is Anthony Grant. And so I'm curious, where last year in a season where Anthony Grant started off really, really strong, had over 100 yards, I believe, in their first 3 games. What was that, against Northwestern, North Texas, and then Georgia Southern? I think he had 100 or 100 plus against Indiana as well, with an Oklahoma game wedged in there. But other than that, I mean, this is an offensive line that they were able to kind of open up some holes with Anthony Grant at times in those first 3 games, but also once they started playing better competition last year, Anthony Grant's numbers and sustainability also went down at times. So I mean, how do you feel going into this bulk of the Big Ten schedule, right? From now on, there's no more real warm-up games left. And I use the term warm-up games lightly, because with Nebraska, you can't look past Northern Illinois, Louisiana Tech. But then this goes into the conversation, I guess, of we were surprised that Emmett Johnson maybe didn't get a little more run on Saturday too. So I don't know necessarily if there's a question in there, but just kind of a general observation of where the offensive line is at. And then Emmett Johnson also kind of tied in there at times.
Well, yeah, Nick, you're absolutely right, because you can call Northern Illinois and Louisiana Tech a little bit of warm-up games. I know coaches would never ever do that, but us people watching from the outside can absolutely say that. But now, I mean, it's starting to get real. I mean, Michigan is the real deal. I know Illinois is not the Illinois of last year, especially their defense, but it's still Big Ten athletes out there. And then Northwestern, Purdue, Michigan State, Maryland, Wisconsin, Iowa. These are just going to be higher level athletes that the offensive line is going to be going against. And it's looked pretty good against Louisiana Tech and NIU, but again, it's not Louisiana Tech and NIU anymore. So I'm not bullish that Nebraska's run game is going to be as successful as it has been these past 2 weeks, but I don't think that's shocking, really, because the competition is going to be rising now. So, I mean, they're going to be playing better guys, Big Ten talent. So, I just don't know what else to say other than it's going to get real here soon. And Nebraska's offensive line is going to have to just, continue to work to get better, be more consistent in getting a push, because they haven't been consistent in getting a push. And the good thing about having Heinrich Harburg and Jeff Sims at quarterback is the run threat, obviously. Now, they both really struggle with their passing accuracy, obviously, but the thing that they can do is put the ball down and pick up runs and pick up yards with their legs. And they're going to have to do that all season long, unfortunately, I think, because I don't think the offensive line is good enough to kind of handle it themselves with the handoff run game with the running backs. And Anthony Grant, I mean, we'll see. He's going to be very, very motivated to kind of do it all himself, I'm sure. But you need more than him in there. I'm really interested to see if Joshua Fleeks might have, if the coaching staff might have more confidence in a guy like Fleeks than a second-year guy like Emmett Johnson. Fleeks is older dude. He's a veteran. We haven't heard that much from him, and obviously he's had kind of some negative things surrounding him, like in the off season when he was told to go home because of that weight comment from Rule. That was weird. He was brought in to be a culture guy, and that's not something that you want to see from the culture guy. And now all of a sudden might be leaned on with the run game on Saturday. So it's just all hands on deck. There's a lot of problems on offense, obviously, at Nebraska. And I think Marcus Satterfield is trying to do his best with what he has, and what he has right now is just kind of lacking.
We're speaking with Steve Marik of Inside Nebraska, and from one side of the ball that's struggling to the other side that everybody's extremely excited about. On the defensive side of things, Nebraska, as everybody knows, statistically the best running defense in the nation. They haven't really faced a team like Michigan, though, a team that actually wants to run the ball and will commit to running the ball, won't give up, because although Minnesota has a better running game statistically, they gave up running the ball against Nebraska in the first game of the season. So with the possible loss of Luke Reimer, I mean, he didn't come back into the game against Louisiana Tech. We're not exactly sure what's going on with him, but with the loss of him, Mekhi Bayer stepping up, how do you see this running game stacking up this running defense stacking up to the Michigan Wolverines?
Yeah, I'm writing the preview right now for Inside Nebraska, and that's what I'm leading off with. That's between those two units. I'm really interested in seeing the battle between Nebraska's defensive front. Well, I should say the entire defense, because the DBs are very much involved. It's a total team-wide effort on defense for Nebraska, which is cool to see. But those guys against Michigan's very old, veteran, huge, these guys are massive offensive line, plus they're blocking tight ends too. I mean, Michigan has a tradition of really good offensive lines and really good tight ends. And what I want to go back to is last night on the radio, Evan Cooper, the Huskers DB coach, was asked about his thoughts on Michigan, and I'll read his quote here because I think it was really good. He said, quote, they're going to look you in the eyes, and they're going to see if you want to quit. And if you do, then the score will be lopsided. If you don't, then you'll have a chance at some point, end quote. So that's exactly what I think Michigan is going to do. I think Evan Cooper hit the nail on the head. They're going to come right at you with that run game. And although they haven't really been as dominating as you want against that cupcake schedule that they've started out with, it's still, I don't really care about that. It's still Michigan. It's still big offensive linemen. They're still strong as ever. And Blake Corum is there. Donovan Edwards is a really, really young, interesting, exciting back too. So even though Michigan's offense hasn't really looked like the dominating force that everybody kind of expected it to, I think they're still going to kind of turn it on for their first game away from their home. It's Jim Harbaugh's return to Memorial Stadium from a couple of years ago. They're going to want to prove that last time that they were in Memorial Stadium that they can really take care of the job and not, squeak out of here with like a one-score win like they did two years ago. So I'm really, really interested to see how Nebraska's defense stacks up, because everybody's been wondering, is Tony White's defense for real? I don't know if it is right now, just because, they've had some really great games, obviously. But this isn't Minnesota. This isn't Colorado. And this sure as heck isn't a Group of 5 program. These are real dudes coming at them. So I'm really, really anxious to watch this game, especially with Nebraska's defensive front and those offensive linemen and tight ends who are going to be blocking them for 4 quarters. How are they going to stack up? I think we're going to learn a lot right now.
Keeping it on the defensive side of things, I know we just focused, on their run game, on Michigan's running attack, but their passing game is kind of what's been carrying them through this first, like you said, their cupcake schedule with J.J. McCarthy passing for over 900 yards. They're averaging around 240 yards passing. Nebraska is giving up 250 yards passing. Is there any way that, if Michigan looks across the line and Nebraska doesn't look like they're going to quit, if they don't have that look in their eye and they don't want to quit, that they just go to the air and take advantage of a kind of porous defense when it comes to passing?
Yeah, I think the thing with Michigan's passing is J.J. McCarthy. He started off the season really good. 86% completed 86% of his passes against East Carolina, threw 3 touchdowns against UNLV, 88 completion percent with 2 touchdowns. But then that weird Bowling Green game, he hit 8 of his 13 attempts for 143 yards, 2 touchdowns, but he also threw 3 interceptions. Just a really weird game. And although Michigan had a little bit of trouble against always kind of a pesky Rutgers defense, I don't know. I'm getting through rewatching that game right now, and JJ McCarthy wasn't blowing me away with his performance. So I just think that if you get a guy like JJ McCarthy, and this is nothing against JJ McCarthy, he's a great quarterback, dual threat guy, can hurt you with his arm and legs. But if you can get him in a third and 5 situation, 3rd and 6, I think Nebraska has a strong chance of manning up with those receivers and mixing in some zone in the back end. And I think that they can really be successful in that, because J.J. McCarthy is not these past 2 games, McCarthy has not blown me away with his efficiency as a quarterback. He can obviously tuck the ball down and pick up some yards with his legs. But I'm not blown away by him as a passer yet, if that makes sense. So I think if Nebraska's defense can get Michigan's offense in those 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 6 kind of weird third downs, I think it's a benefit for the Huskers. And I think Tony White can dial up some blitz packages. And if you go back and watch the game, Rutgers defense did get in the backfield and did get some pressure on McCarthy, and he didn't handle it super, super cleanly. So I think that's really going to be important for Tony White and his unit going into this thing on Saturday.
Steve, last one before we go and let you go. We're hanging out with Steve Marik of Inside Nebraska. I guess just a general statement here. I want Nebraska to force some turnovers. It just feels like at times Nebraska's struggled to take the ball away. And yes, they got that interception, and you're certainly going to take those against the Louisiana Techs of the world. But like, this feels like a game where Nebraska's going to have to figure out a way to be positive in the turnover margin, which is something that rarely happens, it feels like, for Nebraska football. But it feels like something where they're going to have to come out early on and say, you know what, hey, we are an underdog. We get that, but we're here for the fight. And an early turnover in terms of, I guess, Michigan turning over the football early on in this game, and Nebraska maybe getting a spark play is a perfect way to start and keep the crowd in it for a longer amount of time.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point. And right now, Nebraska's defense has 4 turnovers. They've intercepted the ball 3 times. They've picked up 1 fumble. I think, like I just said before, with J.J. McCarthy and those third and medium, 3rd and long plays, I think that's a prime time for Nebraska's defense to pick him off down the field. Now, Quentin Newsome has been super, super close the past couple games. It'd be really great if he could snag his first career interception. That'd be awesome, because you can put that on the NFL highlight tape when he gets drafted. He really needs one of those. But I just think, you're absolutely right, Nick. Those linebackers, those defensive linemen, they need to be punching the ball. They need to be trying to punch at Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards in that run game. The DBs, when they come in late in those scrums, be stripping like hell. Anything that you need to do, just get that ball out. Try to get the ball back to the offense so they can try to do something. But I wouldn't be surprised if Nebraska comes away with another interception. Maybe a prediction right here. I don't know. Let's go out on a limb and say Omar Brown picks off his second pass of the season on a deep post to Roman Wilson. How about that? That's kind of a weird, oddly specific prediction. But I think Omar Brown has had such an incredible season right now. He's come out of nowhere from last year. He's playing fast. He's playing physical. He's playing confident. He's hitting guys. He's doing well in pass coverage. I think he's going to pick one off for some reason. I got that in my gut, guys.
All right, there we go. How about that? So
very oddly specific.
An Omar Brown interception on a deep post to Roman Wilson from JJ McCarthy.
Write it down.
There you go.
There you go. All right.
So let's say it comes on a 3rd and 6.
Okay. Well,
every 3rd and 6.
I was gonna say if it comes on a 3rd and 5, though, I mean, we're not going to take it. We'll just say, hey, you guys can have the ball back. We'll do this again when you go 3rd and 6.
Can you step back one?
So, all right, Steve. Well, hopefully next time we talk, the Cubs are a playoff team for sure, and well, let's hope that Nebraska can go out and shock the world against number 2 Michigan.
Absolutely. I'm going to be watching the Cubs.
Yes, exactly. There it is. Steve Marik of Inside Nebraska. There you go. We'll talk to you later, Steve.
Have a good one, guys.
There he is, Steve Marik, Inside Nebraska. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll talk a little NBA trade action as Damian Lillard is off to Milwaukee. We'll bring in the Husker Hall of Famer himself, Eric Strickland, as we get you ready for On the Block with Strick and myself today, as Austin is out since it's a Wednesday, and we'll get you ready for that show and more coming up next on the Happy Hour 93.7 The Ticket.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and our big fall sale is underway, and the new truck incentives are off the charts. Over $5,000 in discounts on select new Sierras and Silverados and 0.9% interest rates. Yes, you heard right. $5,000 off, 0.9% interest rates on select new trucks here at Koppel. So please take that short money-saving drive down 144th Street and check out that great small-town vibe with big city deals. We look forward to seeing you, or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with approved credit.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
You had to know that when Wingstop set out to make a crispy, juicy chicken sandwich, they wouldn't make it in just one flavor. They'd make it in all 12, like lemon pepper, mango habanero, hickory smoked barbecue, and OG hot. So why have one new favorite chicken sandwich when you can have 12? Try the new sauced and tossed Wingstop chicken sandwich today for only $5.49 at Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Valid for a limited time and available at participating Wingstop locations only while supplies last. Price subject to applicable taxes and fees.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Hey, it's Jake Sorensen. Join us this Friday from 6 to 10 a.m. at Double Eagle Golf in the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street for a Ryder Cup watch party and preview of Nebraska, Michigan. Book your bay to hit shots while enjoying the show and enjoy USA-themed drink specials. Book today at doubleeagle.golf. We'll see you on Friday.
The best way to learn about Southeast Community College is to visit. SCC's Career Days will provide you with a hands-on experience as you learn alongside SCC faculty and students and industry partners. Explore careers in healthcare, construction, ag, automotive, manufacturing, engineering, power sports, transportation, or technology. See your options at southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
All right, Rico, let's do the final checklist before we head out. We have a lot of people coming to the tailgate today.
I'm ready.
Burgers? Check. Chips? Check. Icy cold beer? Check.
Except this one.
I'm forgetting something. Wait a second. Where's the Führer's cheese spread?
I can't stop eating it.
Rico,
relax. I always pack extra. It's the biggest hit of the tailgate.
For the best appetizer, party dip, and tailgate snack, load up on Führer's cheese spread today. Found in most local grocery stores.
Brown Shoe Fit has all types of shoes for you to excel this fall. Check out their large variety of tennis shoes and dress shoes in brands like Brooks, Hoka, Merrell, On, and many more. Browns has the local professionals to get the proper fit, aided by their high-tech foot scanner by Aetrex. Stop by Brown Shoe Fit today, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln, or check out their options online at brownshoefitco.com.
Is your backyard ready for fun with friends and family this fall? GE Landscape Supply has pavers and boulders, which are a great accent for any landscaping project. And you can find them at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere, nearby or far away. Stop by at 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. Go to gelandscapesupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
An entire week of celebrating Lincoln's Craft Brewers is just around the corner. October 2nd through the 8th is Lincoln Craft Beer Week. Head to lincoln.org/beer-week for a complete schedule of events at your favorite local establishments. Brought to you by Visit Lincoln. Remember to enjoy responsibly.
We have a doubleheader coming your way this Thursday and Friday right here on 93.7 The Ticket. Hey guys, it's Nick Sainert. Join me and Jay Foreman not once but twice this week for high school football here in the state of Nebraska. On Thursday night, it's number 2 Millard South versus number 10 Lincoln East from Seacrest Field as kickoff is slated for 7 p.m. And then on Friday, join us for one of the best rivalries in all of the city. The Silverhawks of Lincoln Southwest play Lincoln Southeast on Friday night at 8 p.m. Join me and Jay Foreman once again on Thursday at 7 p.m. and on Friday at 8 p.m. for high school football right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert.
I don't believe you people.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
What do you mean, you people? What do you mean, you people? Huh?
Sponsored by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It's not a bad spot.
It's not a bad spot. You're right.
We are back here on the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Just moments away from On the Block. Strick is in the building. What's up, man?
What it do? What it do?
How are we feeling?
I'm doing great, man. Listen, I'm gonna be probably putting it out pretty soon, but shout out to Global Open Wound Care. I've been working my butt off, man, and trying to put this project together, and it's coming down the home stretch. It's like the baton has been passed, and now it's time to, take it home.
There you go.
So yeah, man, we're about to open up real soon. I'll be talking about it really soon, man. And what I will say, man, why this day is so beautiful and the sun is shining bright. That's one thing I love about this. It really gives you
natural light.
Yeah, the natural light is beautiful, but
it makes the day go quick.
Like I had always been trying to figure out something that I wanted to bring back to Omaha or to Lincoln that would be beneficial to the community. And that time is closely approaching, man. So I'm excited. That's why I'm in a great mood today.
At you. There you go.
Oh man, it's
You're
been a
glowing,
long time,
sir.
Long time coming.
You can now buy a piece of the world record attendance court from Volleyball Day in Nebraska.
Oh,
wow.
For $92.03. You can buy a piece of the court.
Wow.
A part of me wants to.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it in like a? Is
This
it just
is-
a
it is-
straight sale
it
or
is
is it
framed.
ETF or anything? Oh, it's framed. Okay,
It's framed.
Or
It
is
says
it
world
EFT?
record attendance 92,003, largest women's sporting event in world history. Husker Nation stole the show on Volleyball Day in Nebraska. The crowd of 92,003 surpassed the previous world record for a women's sporting event. Nebraska also drew the largest crowd in the 100-year history of Memorial Stadium.
I'm in that picture.
We all are.
Now,
there you go.
Now here's the question though, right? Because Rico, and this will be to you because you follow them really closely. I mean, we all follow them, but this volleyball team, to me, as I watched them, they looked more inspired or more hungry, more gritty than than the team that I've seen in the last couple of years. And is this something that can inspire a team? What they did on this
100%,
event?
100%.
Because they're just like they're playing with some form of new fervor.
That's something that can push a team to go even further. But what you're seeing with this team is a lot more enthusiasm, a lot more emotion, a lot more character being shown through this team. Now, that's not to say that previous teams haven't had that, but this team, like you said, is just different. There's something different about them. There's something different with the way that Coach Cook has allowed this team to express themselves on the court. They're a lot louder, a lot more vocal, and you see a lot of different celebrations from different things happening, from blocks and
rallies,
crazy rallies, digs, kills. Like everything has a different type of celebration. I've made this. I've talked about this with my wife and with some of the people up in Media Row. Becca Alec is different this year. Like last year, she was the star freshman on the scene. She was doing all these things. Now she's like a savvy veteran as a sophomore, but she is a lot more expressive. When she gets a block or she gets a kill, she lets the other side of the net know how she feels. And that is something that we didn't really see from her last year. Maybe that was because she's a freshman. Maybe now that she's a sophomore, she just feels a little bit more inspired to say these things or to do these things. But the freshmen on this team, Andy Jackson, Laney Choboy, they're not afraid of the light. They are not afraid of the light at all, and they are sitting there in that spotlight and soaking it all up. Bergen Riley as well. Harper Murray, obviously. They're soaking it all up. And I think that's just a big thing with this team.
Maybe
is
that's
that
why
they're
Harburg is playing.
a lot more expressive. A lot more expressive.
I didn't mean to throw you off, Rico. My bad, man.
Dang.
I didn't mean to throw Rich in the program. But the real scary thing about him, Rico, let's get back on track.
Come on, man.
The real scary thing about him
doing?
is they're young.
Very young. There's no
That's
seniors.
what's scary about that, what you're seeing, because that can then begin to translate and sip down through the cracks and start to.
There's no seniors on this team. Problem is roster's full. They have 3 or 4 girls coming in next year. They're going to have to do what Ohio State did this last offseason and unload 4 or 3 very talented women to make room.
Yeah.
That's just how it works. Dang. Unfortunately, we don't know who the 3 or the 4 are, but there's going to be 3 or 4 people on this team currently that aren't here next year.
All right, Strick, before we get out of here, let's get your preliminary thoughts on the big trade in the NBA that happened today, where Damian Lillard is going to the Milwaukee Bucks. In other parts of it, DeAndre Ayton is going to Portland, and the Suns will not now the Suns get Nurkic, Little, Keon Johnson, and Grayson Allen, and to add to the backcourt with Booker and Bradley Beal.
Well, I think we'll go a little bit more into depth on the block in a few minutes. We'll dig into a little bit more depth wise, but I will say probably the one with the crying emoji right now of Michael Jordan. The Michael Jordan crying emoji is probably is DeAndre Ayton.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
You got to go to Portland.
He went from a really good situation with 3 other All-Stars, 2 future Hall of Famers for sure. 1 future Hall of Famer and Kevin Durant. I don't know about Beal and Booker quite yet, but 1 future Hall of Famer for sure and Kevin Durant, and 2 year in, year out All-Stars. He went from that to whatever Portland has.
Yeah, well, and
very young rebuild.
Damian,
you got to be the guy, leader.
Damian Lillard struggled to win in Portland, And now DeAndre Ayton, similar situation. So
I mean, just go back and do the track record of Portland, right?
Exactly.
You go out, Greg Oden, you just keep going back, missing Kevin Durant, just all the freaking bumble-headed moves that they made over the years.
At the time, it wasn't a bubble. Greg Oden was
the guy. No, but it's been unfortunate. I mean, you can take it, just forget that. Forget I said that. Let's go back to Sam Bowie.
Yeah.
I mean, just keep going.
That one was bad.
Just keep digging. No, they had that good run. They had some really good runs. I actually think that they should. Braden Roy, that was tough. He was tough.
Yeah.
But they really should have beat, a couple of times the Lakers in their runs. They were that good. When Pippen was there, Stoudemire, Grant, even young Jermaine O'Neal. Like they were so talented. Young Jermaine O'Neal, who ends up being probably a Hall of Famer himself, couldn't get on the court. So
And whenever I think of Jermaine O'Neal, I think Pacers Jermaine O'Neal.
Of course,
that's the one.
That's the one I played with. That one was a beast.
a beast.
That one was a beast. He was tough.
All right, that'll do it. We got about a minute left here in the show. Stricky, got a lot of stuff coming up on the block. We got a lot of interesting conversations that we're excited. I know I'm excited.
A little bit of NFL
to dive into. The Jets are coming to a crashing halt. The Huskers. We'll talk a little Huskers defense as well, because everybody talks about the rushing defense, but there's this other metric called stop rate that's maybe a little more accurate, and you can take it a little more seriously, and where the Huskers rank there. Evan Bland will join us at 2:30 as well.
Jimmy Butler's upset. He's talking on Instagram, and he wants the NBA to investigate the Bucks for tampering.
Oh, no. Here we go.
He could be joking. He could not. I haven't seen the video yet.
Jimmy Butler ain't happy.
Blame it on Miami. They should have pulled the trigger.
They should have.
They tried to railroad him.
That'll do it for the happy hour. Thanks to Steve Mark, as always. Alejandro Zuniga of Michigan 24/7 Sports joins us tomorrow. We will talk to you then. Stricky Nicky.
Adios.
All right, it's lunchtime. Where should we go today?
How about Qdoba? We can get free queso and chips with an entree purchase.
Whoa, how'd you know about that?
It's in the campus cash booklet that we got for free to start the school year, the student marketplace. You didn't get yours?
I'd better go grab mine now.
You'd better stop at the College of Hair Design, too. Your hair is getting long. $8 haircut with a campus cash book.
What about my friends who are out of college?
They can download the Campus Cash app for free and get great deals, too, from Pizza Hut, Juice Stop, Craft Axe Throwing, and tons more.
Campus Cash, the student marketplace. Find your free booklet on campus or download the Campus Cash app.
Hey, it's Jake Sorensen. Join us this Friday from 6 to 10 a.m. at Double Eagle Golf in the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street for a Ryder Cup watch party and preview of Nebraska, Michigan. Book your bay to hit shots while enjoying the show and enjoy USA-themed drink specials. Book today at doubleeagle.golf. We'll see you on Friday.
All right, Rico, let's do the final checklist before we head out. We have a lot of people coming to the tailgate today. I'm ready. Burgers? Check. Chips? Check. Icy cold beer? Check. Except this one. I'm forgetting something. Wait a second. Where's the Führer's cheese spread?
I can't stop eating it.
Rico,
relax. I always pack extra. It's the biggest hit of the tailgate.
For the best appetizer, party dip, and tailgate snack, load up on Führer's cheese spread today. Found in most local grocery stores.
You had to know that when Wingstop set out to make a crispy, juicy chicken sandwich, they wouldn't make it in just one flavor. They'd make it in all 12, like lemon pepper, mango habanero, hickory smoked barbecue, and OG hot. So why have one new favorite chicken sandwich when you can have 12? Try the new sauced and tossed Wingstop chicken sandwich today for only $5.49 at Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Valid for a limited time and available at participating Wingstop locations only while supplies last. Price subject to applicable taxes and fees.